Hello, everyone. It's Scotty T, and I have a fantastic comedian with me. Kamryn K is with me. Kamryn, how are you?
I'm great, Scott. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for giving me some of your time. How are you doing?
I'm doing great today. It's Thursday. You're catching me right before headed out to an open mic tonight.
Okay. Well, and let's start right away since you want to go right to work. You're in Michigan, right?
Yep, right here in Brighton.
Brighton, Michigan. Were you born and raised in Michigan?
Always. I've lived
Okay.
outside of Wayne County, about 20 minutes south of Detroit, just up until last year.
I've been to Detroit. I was there. That's a
It's
whole no-
a
that's a whole nother story, but we'll talk about it.
it's a great city. It's coming back. It's sports town, right? Did you go for a game?
Well, no, I was there. Well, we could talk about Sunday. The Lions are playing my Eagles.
I just did, as I think you said you saw a whole a sports entertainment talk show about it and did my whole prediction on it.
No,
I'm really
I did
excited.
not. I did not, but that's okay. Don't worry. The Eagles will kick your entire ass.
I do. The Eagles are a good team, but
And
I
the
think we're
Lions are really good. It should be a great football game. It really should be. But we're going to talk about other sports. You're another sport. There's a couple other things that you're like a sport and you used to play sports.
yeah. I mean, so I'm like 6 foot tall, so it just kind of came naturally. I have basketball, volleyball. I did rowing, and that's what I actually kind of ranked in nationally in high
Okay.
school. Being able to get out on the water at 4 a.m. in the Detroit River of all
Yeah,
places, and rowing an hour before school. It was hard, but it was a great way to start the day.
I'll bet. All right, so let's go. When did you start doing comedy?
I'm coming up on 2 years here in February. So
Okay.
this is my about a year and, some change.
Right. And you've done very well so far. Congratulations. But I wanted to know, was there a catalyst 2 years ago that said, Cameron, let's start doing comedy? What?
I would want to say like I just got into it, but I feel like most comedians, I got a divorce. What better catalyst than that?
Hey, I have one of those.
Hey, and did you start comedy after? About half of us
Oh,
do.
I was funny before that. All right. So you got a divorce, and you think that's part of what caused it.
I think I just was looking for a community and I definitely want to make friends. I want to make other funny friends. And I thought, what better way than an open mic? The Michigan comedy scene in itself has
Right.
really been very inviting. I was immediately told what Facebook groups to join and what open mics to go to. There's a whole Google Doc explaining every day and who you got to reach out to and all sorts of things like that. And people were just quick to give it up, and like I said, very warm. So it made it really
Okay.
easy to just jump right in both feet.
Okay. And you certainly have. I'm not sure if I should be calling you Cameron or Sparkles.
That is a common misconception. Everybody who knows me from
I don't
Sparkles
know
is
if
from my
Sparkles
OG
was a
days.
stripper name. Were you a stripper at some point?
It was third grade when I came up from it, so
So you were stripping in third grade.
it was a rough life.
You had OnlyFans at I'm kidding you.
Right. OnlyFans did not even exist when I was in third grade,
I
right?
know,
That's
I
been the
know.
last couple years.
So if guys are looking, they should look for Sparkles.
If they're going to the OnlyFans, they're just going to be sorely disappointed. At this point, I'd like to think I maybe have given them so much traffic that there's like some AI bot on there that looks
There's
like
some
me.
girl
That
named
yeah,
Sparkles going, man,
yeah,
I'm
right,
doing
yeah,
wonderful.
right. There's I don't know where all this is coming from.
Well, I have one other one here I have written down. Did your aunt actually call you Special K?
Yes, and it's on a Facebook comment as well. It was, I was Special K for whatever reasons she has, as you saw in the clip.
I have an idea.
Right, I listed a couple. It comes more and more true every single day, though.
Not the cereal either.
All of it.
uh, I hate when I talk, but I had somebody call me. I was living in this place. Guy said, T, come down. We got some Special K. I said, what is Special K? Do you know what he was talking about?
The ketamine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He said, I said, what is Special K? It's ketamine. I said, What the hell's ketamine? What's a horse tranquilizer? I'm good on the old horse tranquilizer. I'm good with that. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, that's not even a part of the joke, but there is just a whole nother special K out there.
Yeah, no, I thought it was because you were special.
Too much Tylenol, right? As old RFK would say.
Something the old RFK would say. Let me ask you this: comedians that inspired you when you were young, and comedians that you like now.
I feel like the inspiring ones that are classic is going to be the Norm Macdonald, the George Carlins, the Richard Pryors. You know, even more lately, Dave Chappelle. Not too lately, but
Yeah,
growing
not
up
too
a little
lately.
bit. Yeah, right. But growing up, definitely Dave Chappelle. I feel like as soon as I started comedy, I started watching specials so much less and not keeping up with as many people, just because you don't want to, you kind of get mad sometimes. Like you're either sitting there being like, "There's a better punchline to that joke," or you're sitting there being like, "I could never think of a punchline that good." So either way, I don't find it as entertaining anymore. But I
I find
definitely
very few of them entertaining.
so great to be here. Right,
No, no,
truly.
no, no, not my show. I'm talking about when I Netflix or I get about 5 minutes in, I'm like, next.
They're also right at this point. I'm going to so many comedy shows every week that it's like, do I really want to get home,
Yeah,
unwind,
right.
and put on one more comedy show?
I worked in the music business, and we used to we'd have all day new release meetings, and people would say, "You want to listen to music?" No, no, I had music all day. I don't want to listen to
Every
any
so
more music.
often, you're just driving home in fucking silence, and it's the best thing
Oh yeah,
ever.
yeah. What about comedians you like today? Are there some, even local comedians you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, there's definitely some on the Future of Comedy tour with Mike Ball. He's been producing, and he is, I'd say, one of the best comedians out there with a guitar. Right next up to Tommy Cook from Ypsilanti. He's a favorite of mine around on the scene. I feel like we keep on losing good comedians to Chicago every single year. Uh, I've lost personally at least three friends to the epidemic within the short 2 years that I've been here in comedy, and then other ones to Texas as well. My friend Mason Bird just was on Kill Tony,
Yeah.
and he did great. And and that's a kind of like the joke when you move out there is you're just going out there to go on to Kill Tony. But he actually, I think, got like a gold buzzer. He's on tour, with them. He's going to be doing great things, and it's yeah.
Well, you mentioned the future of comedy, and that's, I noticed that's a troupe or whatever there in Michigan, I guess, and you have merchandise and everything. You guys have done, so you did like 12 shows back to back or whatever with you got those guys.
Yeah, so Mike Ball is a producer and a headliner for a lot of the shows. He's been going around Michigan. I think next year he's gonna have close to 48 shows every
Okay.
Friday and Saturday all around the state. It's taken me up into the UP for festivals
Yeah.
on Drummond Island. It's gonna take me to Ohio, Iowa, Indiana this year.
Okay.
Sometimes the lineup changes up, so it's not necessarily back to back. I'll join
Right.
him here. He'll have other people there, but
Okay.
in 2026, I'm becoming a regular, so I'll be on it a lot more even.
The futures
And
of
that'll be,
future of comedy.
yes.
On Instagram and TikTok, you're known as Spam Like Cam. How does it?
Yeah.
How did that name come about?
That name came about in eighth grade when I was making my Instagram. That would be back in 2012, 2011. Just
Okay.
as a kid, actually making and it was Kamryn. What rhymes with Cam? Kamryn is a boy's name, so I didn't want to be Cameron. I always tried to make it be Cam or something a little bit more
Right.
cool. And it was something that I just kind of went with because it was one of the only identifiers I had outside of Cameron when I started comedy. But I've been considering a rebrand. I realize now how hard it is to push myself when it's like spam, 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 and
Well, no.
people
And the
immediately.
question I had: have you ever had spam?
I have spam up in yeah. I now I keep on getting cans of spam too. Like I really am getting associated with it. I found out that there was a knockoff brand of spam that was called Cam with a K, and it looks exactly like the can. It's like the same font and everything, and it used to be Canadian. So it really is a Cam like spam out there that I had no idea. But you know, art is it does art imitate life or does life imitate art there?
I don't know who this spam is, but why did they keep calling me?
Right?
You do skits on Instagram and TikTok, and I was wondering, do you enjoy doing them?
Yes, I'd like to do them more, but there's a level of shame that it takes to go up on stage and try comedy and doing things like that. But I feel like that's attainable for most people. The amount of shame that you have to public and like film yourself in front of other people is something I still struggle with. I'd love to do more content, but it's hard. I still feel embarrassed. Even right now, we were going over. I've got a whole light set up just to try to make myself look good. 3 layers of tape on the back end.
I, you're preaching to the converted. I'm
Right.
63 years old. I try and make each one of these special.
You should try some tape. It might help you out, just a little bit. Yeah.
Can't you see we got a situation, you asshole? No, I don't think tape's gonna help me out. Um, so you do enjoy doing, like I saw one and I loved it because I thought to myself, you had me going about the guy on the airplane, and it was that really your boyfriend?
Yes, he is now my fiance. We got engaged
Oh,
earlier this year.
congratulations. Yeah.
Thank
For a
you.
second I
But
thought, man, that guy's like a total perv.
that one was hilarious because also he had no idea. I didn't even tell him that I was filming. I really don't like doing it in public, but we're sitting
Right.
there on an airplane and I've got this and it's muted and I know I'm playing music over. So I'm going, hey, put your hand on my leg. And then I go and throw it immediately off. And he's like, what are you doing that for?
That's wonderful.
And I'm like, do it again, do it again, do it again
Right.
while I'm trying to film it. But
Well,
he's a trooper.
I've done what a couple hundred of these, 200 or 300 of them, and there's a lot of comedians that don't like any of that Instagram, TikTok stuff. You know,
I mean, it's necessary. It's a necessary
yeah,
evil at this point. As much as, you can go to two different open mics every single night of the week, but at max, you're gonna see 200, 300 people, a week. And you're gonna just try to build off of that. You can unfortunately do that in one video, one day a week.
yeah,
And it's just such a larger audience that you're just
yeah,
shooting yourself in the leg if you're not utilizing it.
right. Well, let's move on to, and this is pretty cool. You opened for Mick Foley, and for people that don't know who Mick Foley is, tell everybody who he is.
Oh, let me adjust so you can see my belts in the background a
Okay.
little bit. He is a three-time champion, heavy,
W
not heavyweight, yeah, hardcore legend,
WWE, WWE. I know him
WWE
from
Hall of
way
Famer.
back, Mick Foley.
Yes, when most people are like, "Oh, did he do the 1998 Hell in a Cell match against Undertaker when he famously fell 16 foot off the top of the cage?" And it is one of the best moments in hardcore wrestling. Got off the stretcher twice, lost a tooth up through the nose. It's
Oh
still
my
to this day,
God.
yeah. Even I'll still watch the whole match like once a year at least. I've had it on in the background and requested it while I'm doing my set and I can time out how long. I didn't need a light. I was like, oh, he's on the stretcher. Okay, I'm about 15 minutes. Like I know exactly where everything is at this point. But I actually met him as a fan before I even started doing comedy a couple years ago. I went to my very first ever Comic Con in Novi here in Michigan, and he was there. I went with my dad and brother as the Three Faces of Foley, which famously he joined a Royal Rumble 3 different times, coming back as Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and then Mankind. So I went as Mankind. My brother was Dude Love. My dad was Cactus Jack, and Mick Foley immediately was, "Hey, you guys are really cool. Come by my table. I'll give you a free autograph." I had stuff for him to sign, so I got in line and we started talking to him and all this stuff. It ended up when he found out that I was with my dad and my brother, he ended up inviting us back to his hotel room that night to watch the Lakers game, and we picked up some local Buddy's Pizza and we just stayed in touch and became pen pals. And when I started doing comedy, he gave me a shot immediately, almost no questions asked.
I didn't know he was doing comedy until a few months ago. I had Bob Hansen on, who was a WWE wrestler.
Yeah,
And do you know Bob, or have you ever heard
yeah,
of him?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Bob was on my show. Bob's a really funny guy. and he mentioned that Mick Foley was doing comedy, and now, again, full circle. Here you are.
It is. I mean, it starts or he books it as like a storytelling tour, but he really is. He's an author and he wrote his own books, and he really is like an intellectual guy. He articulates very well. He knows timing like very just naturally type thing, so he can just go up there and tell the true stories from his time on tour. And he's name dropping The Rock and all these other people, but it's hilarious. There is punchlines, and if you're a wrestling fan, it's everything is just I'm in awe. Yes, I hear different stories every single stop of the tour. It's been a lot of fun.
He seems like a really nice guy. I've never
Yeah.
met him. By the way, if you want to move the camera back now, you can move the camera
Oh
back.
yeah. Right.
It don't matter to me.
I was like, it's still there.
You're
You
going
can
to
still
pay
see at
pay
least one of
homage to
them.
Mick Foley for the rest of the interview.
I should. Right. I was like, I've got the mankind mask is here. I was like, right, we can get that
Hey,
down.
there you
This is
go. Put it on. There
and
you
it's
go.
auto. It's I so I made a skit with it where I was wearing it, and
I
it is
saw it.
signed, and I broke it during the skit, so it's been retired now just to one of
Okay. I like the
the
head. I like the
yeah,
head.
yeah, right.
My mom used to have those for wigs.
Right. That's we when Joann's was closing, I went absolutely crazy. The
All right.
nationwide change, the craft store, I got
You're not wearing a
multi
wig now, are you?
no, but I
I'm sorry. You have tape. You have tape down.
right.
Favorite show that you've done so far? I'm not talking about TV show you watched. Favorite show you've done so far, and then because I'm an idiot, the least favorite show where things didn't go so good.
Oh no. Oh, well, the least favorite the
Well, you
least
could do
favorite
favorite
show is
first.
right, I was
Would
like
it be
the
like Mick Foley the first time you did that, or you've
definitely yes,
you've
the very
opened for
first
some other
time.
you've opened up for some other big people too.
Yes, and I've met a lot of great people through comedy, but Mick Foley was somebody that, I didn't even ever expect to intercede with comedy. That was an opportunity that I never saw coming, like somebody that I knew from a child, kind of like looking up to in a whole different sense of light. He still continued to be so kind. And the very first stop of his tour, starting on the 40 Years of Foley tour, he opened in Royal Oak, Michigan, which wasn't too far from me at all. So I got to be there for the very first three dates of the tour. But Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Royal Oak is also one of the best uh, comedy castles around here, one of the best comedy clubs in Michigan. So being
Right.
able to go on a stage that when you walk in is just the walls are lined with every single comedian that you can ever think of that's been there, with their
Right.
signed picture, and it's
Right.
such a honor always to just sit there and be like, oh my gosh, Norm Macdonald signed the wall in the background, like I'm standing where he once stood. So having that moment opening for somebody I looked up to, yeah, that's an all timer for sure. And
All
to
right.
get it, just over a year into comedy as well, I feel I know very well that it's like there are some people who have been doing it for a lot longer who deserve maybe even that spot more than I did in that moment, but that doesn't go over my head. It was such a dream come true.
Well, I watched it when you work really hard at the craft because you started writing like 2 years before you actually started performing.
Yeah, I worked as a bartender in Detroit, around Detroit, always around, and that's just naturally a part of the game. I started doing even the flair bartending. It's actually I've got the symbol that I have for comedy is me sitting inside of a martini,
Well,
kind
I
of pin
couldn't
up.
even see it. Get up, show me what you
Oh,
got going on there. Well, all right. Oh, there you go. All right.
so it is. It's a martini, but
Looks
it's
like a
got a skull
martini and an
instead.
olive there.
It is technically a group tattoo with about four other bartenders from a bar down in Wyandotte. And my mentor who taught me kind of craft cocktailing, but you got so used to in my head, I'm trying to remember 100 different recipes and how many ounces, goes into
All
this
right.
and shaking the right thing. So I just got used to adapting
Oh boy.
stories and
Oh
being able
boy.
to tell
I'm
them,
sorry. I'm
just
sorry.
learning it. Oh, is it the double shake?
No, the shaking the right thing. I think you win by default.
Right.
You just
So I
walk.
could I could triple shake and you ain't
You
ever to
shake your
see.
moneymaker. You win. You win.
I
I'll
could
give you
light the stuff on
an
fire. I
extra
was
tip. You get an extra
right.
tip.
Just the tip, right?
No, stop it. Stop it now. I'm being an idiot. Well, we did favorite show. What about least favorite? That seemed to work you up a little bit.
The least favorite because I don't want to mention, a place or name. So I don't want anybody to think that
Well,
I
that'll
don't I
that'll
don't want anybody right to actually know what was the worst. But I feel like showing up to a crowd that is about 7 people,
yeah.
and driving well over an hour to do a show and then ending up with only getting 2 drink tickets because people didn't show up. That one, always hurts, and you learn from stuff like that to, if you're gonna get paid, just ask maybe how much you're gonna get paid first. It's not a hard question, and when you're spending, in this economy, some money on gas, it's a fair question.
7 people and 2 of them were shooting pool.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, there's been some really great shows like that.
I
There's
got it.
been some pool tables. There's been some. Oh, one of them. The people did not want to unplug the pinball machine, and it was, most of the time it was dormant. But then one guy also was like, "I'm gonna play pinball," and it started.
Ding,
It
ding,
was
ding.
loud. Yeah, and the comedians would just start roasting him, and he wasn't having it. Like,
He just was into it
right,
playing.
then stop playing pinball. Maybe I don't
That's
know,
pretty
but
good.
it was a
And that's got to be a real doubter if you're on stage and the guy's playing pinball.
it was an open mic too, so it's kind of like, well, if you're going up there, like, it's time to practice crowd work because you're going to talk about that guy. You're not going to ignore it.
Pinball.
Right.
Well, now this one, I try and always pull out a couple, and we're going to get to. I know you do a couple impressions, but this one, I went to Instagram. I scroll through. I try and find as much as I can out about you, and I saw. I think you were in Chicago. Dave Matthews Band, August 8th, 2004.
This is a true story.
Go ahead. I won't say any more. Dave Matthews Band, August, and just, and I'll let you take over. I sent you a picture of Dave and I. I worked for RCA Records. I worked with Dave Matthews Band.
I mean, if I was telling tales outside of church, then he can get upset with me. But the truth is that the Dave Matthews tour bus unloaded itself while it was passing over a graded bridge in Chicago. And it just so happened that a sightseeing Chicago boat was coming underneath the bridge. And a tour bus, I guess, holds 800 pounds, which sounds wild, but I said that even to my dad, and he was like, 90 gallons. Yep, sounds about right. That's 800 pounds worth. Like, the math adds up that they dropped 800 pounds worth of feces
You
onto a
can say
group
shit.
of.
They dropped 800 pounds of shit.
Listen, he's your friend, all right? I didn't want
He's
to
not
say
my
shit.
friend. I worked with him. Well, I wanted you to know I was on that bus. I didn't take a shit on that bus, and I had nothing to do with it.
I feel like if I had the opportunity to go on that bus, 100% I would take a shit. It's a piece of history now.
We
We
drive over and drop it.
so I was just there in Chicago and I was filming a video, but there's an actual, obviously fan made plaque. It's not by the city or something, but there's a plaque stapled to the bridge where you can see it is commemorated, as always, as the time that the Dave Matthews Band dropped its shit just on a bunch of, not even, I don't want to say Chicagoans, but like tourists. From what I heard too, because I've obviously looked into it, they didn't even get like really any money or anything out of it. They got a refund like for their trip, like, and if you want to try it again, we could promise it won't happen. That boat was just hosed off and didn't even like miss a next, charter. They just wiped it down clean and sent it right back out for the 4 p.m.
I,
tour.
until today, I didn't even know that happened.
I guess you're just not as big of a Dave Matthews fan as some of us
I'm
don't know what
not.
to do.
I worked for RCA. I never really cared. No, I enjoy. You know what's funny is when you go out on the road with, like you were talking about doing comedy, and go home and watch comedy special. When you're on the road with Dave Matthews for a while, I'm good with the old Dave Matthews. I don't want to go home and listen to more Dave Matthews.
I know that he wasn't the one like driving the bus. Like it wasn't
He
him that
wasn't
like
the one
pushed,
pulled the lever on the shit
Yeah,
tank.
I'm sure, right? But at the same time, if I ever were to meet him, could I not bring it up? I don't know. I don't know if I could sit on that, truly.
Well, not even the guy driving the bus, but hey, push the lever now. We're going over a bridge.
Right, right. The I mean that could have been right a very good conversation. The bus driver being like, "I have to unload this at some point," and David's just like, "We're over water, aren't we? Like, I'm not gonna be late. These people want to hear." Insert Dave Matthews song right here.
Insert Dave Matthews song here.
Would have been really good if I had one ready, huh?
Yeah, me too. How about Crash?
The movie, I love
No,
it.
no, the song Dave Matthews Crash. Crash into me. All right.
Right.
You do some impressions. I don't know if you want to do them. I know you do one from the girl from White Lotus. You've done
Yes.
Ariana Grande back in the day.
Yes, yes. So I've done a couple, and it's always funny because now I have a joke that kind of puts them all back to
You,
back to
you can
back.
do a joke, by the way. This is a comedy show. You can do a joke.
You know, so I have a joke where it's my dream smoke circle, right? And this is actually a reoccurring nightmare that actually does happen to me every once in a while. But I'll be sitting there in a dream smoke circle with, as you said, Ariana Grande, the lady from White Lotus, Jennifer Coolidge, Adam Sandler will be there. Sometimes it's it's not even Jennifer Coolidge. It's like a morphed version of Jennifer Coolidge and LL Cool J that I like to call LL Jennifer Coolidge. Like, I'm gonna knock you out. Mama's gonna knock you out.
That's
But I'll be standing there.
that is fantastic.
Yeah, I love the impressions. Oh, and that one's just the easiest. By far the most popular what I'm doing. But I'll be standing there in a dream smoke, and then the owl from the Tootsie Roll commercial, Mr. Owl,
How
he
many
pulls
licks?
up. Yeah, and he rolls up, and every single time he wants to join my special smoke circle, and I'm like, guys, please don't let him join. Please don't let him join. And LLJ Coolidge is like, I want to see the talking owl. Like, light it up. Let's see it. It's Adam Sandler, but it's never actually Adam Sandler because I am, a 20-year-old woman and I can't do a 40-year-old man too well. But the Billy Madison, when he sees Mr. Penguin, like the specifically, oh, Mr. Penguin. Oh, howdy, Mr. Penguin. How do you do? A little homage to the opera man, maybe on Saturday Night Live. But I'll be like, Adam, please don't hand that owl. And he said, I want to see the owl smoke. Let the owl smoke, and things like that. And every single night without fail, the owl gets the joint in just one, two, and then eats it and ends the smoke sesh right there. I wake up screaming. I beg. I say, please don't let him in.
The dream smoke circle.
You don't ever,
That's a first for me. I've never I've had a lot of dreams, but I never had it like Willie Nelson. Maybe have a smoke circle.
if you, I mean, you have this show. I'm sure there's been times where you've talked about your dream smoke circle or like,
No, I never had a dream smoke circle.
even when people say who's your dream blunt rotation, if you had to share a blunt with two or three other people, who are the people that you would most want to share that blunt with?
Yeah, no,
Any
nobody.
celebrity? I'm
Nobody.
asking you right now then.
I'm smoking for myself. The hell with them. They ain't getting any of my blunt. I do a bit about. I met Rodney Dangerfield. I don't know if you know. Do you ever heard of Rodney Dangerfield?
Caddyshack, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
No, I
Right,
met
right.
Rodney, and he asked me. I said, Rodney, hey Rodney, can I get a pic? No pictures, fellas. No pictures. All right, okay, cool. Wow. I'll do a joke instead. I said, oh, whatever. And I won't tell you the joke. I'll tell you know. But and then he said, hey, you fellas got any weed? I had weed, but I wasn't giving it to him. The rat prick. He wouldn't take a picture.
That's fair. I mean, right.
True
Yeah. I mean,
story. True
right.
story.
You're not going to tell me the joke he told you, though?
You want me to tell you?
Of course. Rodney Dangerfield personally told you a
Hey,
joke,
you
and you're
fellas
going
got any? I'll tell you a joke instead. I said, all right, what's the joke? He said, the other night I'm walking down the road. Guy's walking his dog. Dog starts licking himself. I said, man, oh man, if I could do that, he said, well, pet him. Maybe I'll let you. There you
to.
go.
That's and with the impression as well. Never
I
dropping it.
wasn't that good. I'm a
That
little,
was
my
great.
throat's a little sore. Um, I want to thank Adam Minnick, who you just opened up for. Adam set this up.
Yes, Adam
So,
highly recommended you, and I can see why. He's on his No Thoughts in My Head tour and was lucky enough to let me join the stop in Maumee, Ohio, not too far from me. And it's actually, if I can give a shout out to Robin Gillian, who set me up with Adam as well. So this is, a
you
long
shout out
line
to
of
anybody you
connections.
want. You can give a shout out to anyone you want,
Yeah,
Cameron.
hard G comedy. Robin
Okay?
Gillian set me up with Adam, and gave me that opening spot. Adam then set me up with you, and like that's just the Michigan scene. Like, 'cause everybody is
Yeah.
easy to give opportunities to each other. It's
I've
so
had a
great, and
couple
I'll be
people from Michigan on. Jessica Phillips. Um, what's his name? There's couple of people on. Trevor Klumpner, I think. A couple people. Maybe you don't know any of them.
if
But
you want
Adam,
more, right? 'Cause I'll send you more people if you'd
that's
like.
fine. Adam Minnick is a great guy. I love him because when we did one recently. He was telling me, and I didn't know he did comedy for over 20 years, and he went into his writing process. How do you write? We've got to get to your comedy minute, but how do you go about writing?
So as you kind of said, I as a bartender or people just me being able to tell jokes kind of on the fly, trying to
Right.
get tips for it. If something really worked, I started keeping just notes in my phone
Right.
of, this is funny, this happened to me while I'm driving. Oh yeah, that's good.
Right.
So when I actually got up on stage, I had about 2 years worth of notes or just funny thoughts that I've been kind
Right.
of keeping track of, which any comedian will tell you is so, so important to do. Any thought that pops into your head that's slightly
Yeah.
funny, you can't let it out. You stop conversations halfway, just be like, hold on, that was kind of good. And whip out your phone to make sure that you don't lose it in that moment. But I had all that. And then when I first started actually going up on stage and, trying a couple of things, I was so self conscious about whether or not it was actually good. Like, are people just laughing at, like, are they just being nice and all these other things? So I started getting super, super analytical with it. And now I see that it's a process that, other people do and people pay money for, but I would record my sets and then go back through and listen to the audio waveform of my set, just the
Sure.
visual of the crowd, and then watch it and be able to see and like measuring it just on the actual scale of where the crowd laughed the hardest. And then I would go and rate the jokes based on, this is like my hardest laugh, this one wasn't as good, and put them on a like 1 through 5 scale, and then rate my overall
Wow.
sets after breaking down, right,
I'm
each joke
sorry I
minute by
asked.
minute. Right. And I was like, I was really trying to go through it and really trying to learn what worked and what didn't, because I didn't trust myself for the longest time. I still
Well,
am working on it, but
I'll say this to you, and we're going to get to your comedy minute. But Adam sent me a message, and obviously he really enjoyed you, and he said his wife even said what a great writer you are.
that is so kind, and especially coming from Adam, because you could tell that he's been doing this for some
20
time. Every
years.
single joke he has is succinct and not a
So
single word
you have to
wasted.
watch the interview when it comes out because he talks a lot about his process, and it's a lot like yours, where he writes them down and then looks at them and then looks at them again, tries them 3 times, throws some out, puts some in. I think it's important if you care about what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. My family lately has been very supportive in coming to shows, and
Cool.
now they're telling me, they say I need to write more. They're tired of hearing the same jokes at this
Good,
point.
good,
Yeah, right. So that's why we've got open mics tonight where
good.
we're just trying new stuff still and
Well,
still
and
writing out.
I want you to come back when you know however long, come back and see me again. All right.
Oh, of course. I would love to. This has been so much fun.
All right. Well, we have one more piece of work to do.
What do we
You
got?
ready?
Is it my comedy minute?
It is your comedy minute, Cameron K. Your comedy minute. Go ahead.
All right. Well, as you said earlier, growing up, if you don't remember, my name's Kamryn K. You can always remember it as Special K, which is what my aunt used to call me. That is a true story. And at first, I was always like, oh, that's so sweet, just a nickname. Like, I'm so full of shit as the kid. I needed the fiber that the cereal brings you. But the older I get, the more I realize that she meant special needs K, too much Tylenol type of baby. But as I grow older, I realize that she was right. I am definitely autistic, and she had me pegged from a young age. Just kidding. It was my uncle that pegged me at a young age.
Good Lord.
I was voted by my family most likely to be molested. And when I won, I was touched. But in reality, I don't think I was my uncle's first choice. But you know, the classic saying, peggers can't be choosers. And even if you guys don't like that joke, you just got to remember that my mom hates it even more.
How bad?
She's seen it in person too.
Oh God. You mean the pegging or the
The
joke?
joke, right? The
I was
joke.
gonna
Wait,
say,
not the
what the
molesting.
hell you got going on out there in Michigan?